Hi, welcome to Wine with Chris. And look at this, we are on location, and what a location. I hope you can see. We're in the middle of the vineyards, and guess where? Somewhere in Kent, southeast of England, the new Champagne. In fact, we're here at Chapeldown Vineyard, and as a shareholder, check out my previous video for information on that. We're entitled to 2 free wine tour tickets, followed by a tasting, and we've just completed that. And what an afternoon we've got to do it all in this beautiful location. So we're here at Tenterton, which is where the Chapeldown Vineyard is, but interestingly they have 900 acres of vines throughout Kent and a little bit in South Essex, I think they said. And what was critical for me, and a little bit of a disappointment, is that the famous Kitscote Vineyard of Chapeldown, famed as Oz Clarke saying possibly the best location to make wine in England, is not here. It's on the North Downs. Apparently it's about half an hour's drive north of Tenterton where we are today. But anyway, what we've just done the tasting, and we did the rosé sparkling, we did the brut non-vintage sparkling, the rosé famed for Will's and Kate's wedding wine, the brut I think is the official wine of number 10 Downing Street, and they were both fabulous, really enjoyable. But what I've got in my hand here is the Kitscote Chardonnay still, and the the sort of not Kitscote Chardonnay, i.e. it's sort of more standard regular Chardonnay. The difference being obviously one is from the Kitscote plot, so it should be a bit of a higher quality Chardonnay grape, but also the Kitscote is stored in oak. It's matured in oak barrels, whereas the other Chardonnay is just stainless steel. So we'll give those a quick go. We've tasted them earlier, and as you can see, there's not much left in the glass. But we'll start with the regular one. And what struck us, us being me and Erica, was that it's tropical. If I tasted it blind, I would think it's a Sauvignon Blanc rather than a Chardonnay. Lovely on the nose, that kind of tropical fruit flavors, as if you're on a beach in the Maldives. Quite acidic, but again very tropical. It's sort of passion fruit almost, and citrus, and just that real sort of beach feel. Sunny day like today. Now by contrast, the Kitscote Chardonnay is actually very different on the nose, a little bit of sulfur on the nose, but almost a bit of sort of I don't know whether it's stewed apple or almost like a caramel, sort of that sort of creme brulee sort of smell. And it really comes across in the mouth as well. That's kind of slightly toffee-like, slightly sort of warm melted caramel, definitely that oak feature coming through. And what's interesting about these, I'm not sure that I'm bowled over by either of them, but what's interesting is 2 Chardonnay grapes from the one vineyard, different plots obviously, made in a different way, one oak, one no oak, and they're completely different. So different in fact that one of them doesn't even taste like Chardonnay at all to Eric or me. So that's fabulous. We're going to go and pick up a few bottles using the shareholder discount. But just as I wrap up this brief clip, we are in what, mid-July I think, the day after the British Open. It's Saturday, so it's ongoing, but we were there yesterday, and what they've said is they're 6 to 8 weeks behind. Because of the cold year we've had so far, these vines have literally just finished flowering, which should have happened in April or May. So we're going to have a very late harvest this year. They're not sure of the quality, but just come in here. You can see this is where the flowers were, and just the tiniest little buds of grapes forming. And as I say, we're in mid-July. These should be well-formed grapes by now. So they're not worried, but they know already it's going to be a much later harvest than in usual years. And the other thing they have said, top tip, is that 2020 was possibly the best year yet for English wine in general, because they had that famous, I didn't know until this afternoon, the old adage is, once the flowering has passed, you want 100 days sunshine through to harvest. They know they're not going to get that this year, but they absolutely nailed it last year. Much earlier flowering and a lovely long summer through into September. So we're going to continue just enjoying the vineyard and wandering around. pick up some wines, as I said, but I hope you've enjoyed this little taster, and first time on location in a vineyard, and what a place to start. The home of English wine, Chapel Down Vineyard.